That moon is trying to come up over there. See it? Right now, it is a dark night. We are in the desert. Got here via the Nut and Fancy Project Wolverine X4. Doing great service. It's been busy all day testing guns. I've unloaded most of them, but I have a few left. Remington 870, that's an AR-15, AR-10 in that case. That's a bolt gun. Going for long range testing tomorrow. The 100-yard stuff was done. And then here's the star of the show, boys and girls. This is a Delton Lima pistol, AR-15 pistol. It will be the host for a pretty cool weapon-mounted night vision system that I don't think is too expensive. If you've looked around, these systems, I'm talking about a weapon-mounted night vision system, can be quite expensive. $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. I've seen all of the above. This will be the actual one that I will recommend first to you. It's not perfect. It's not military grade, but it works. You're going to see that. If you want military grade, break out the credit card. A lot of dudes have used this with great success, both in hog hunting, pest control. A lot of airsofters have used it. Don't laugh about the airsofters. Their kit is pretty damn good. A lot of their stuff that they use is directly translatable to a real gun. It's been that way for a number of years. But I'm not going to sell this thing as like the best night vision device known to man. I'm just saying it is high value and you're going to see it works. Okay, and this gun choice right here, the Delton AR-15 pistol, it was just happenstance that I did that. Let me come out of night mode here. The reason I chose it is because I had to run suppressed. Long story short, I didn't want to be swapping muzzle devices around, and so I went with this one. And it was just ready. And the Holosun was already mounted on it, although I did move it further forward. I hope I didn't lose zero in doing it. I haven't shot it since. So if I'm missing, that's my excuse cone right there. Now, to start off this tailgate review, and then we're going to go directly into shooting. This is going to be all in desert. That's right. You guys like this stuff, all in desert. This is a Psionics Aurora Black. I did a tabletop review on the entire Sionyx Aurora night vision cameras last year. Please go watch that. I go into all the details of the unit, its features, all the specifics, and its technology, and then I show you a lot of in-field video I took with the regular version, not this black version. The black version is weapon rated. So it can easily take 5.56. They've tested it, they said, to 4,000 rounds of 5.56. I don't know how it would fare on like a 338 Lapua. I suspect this viewfinder would come flying out. And who knows, maybe it comes flying out on this one, on me tonight. And I say that because the battery is under here. There, see this little switch right here? You pull that down, you pull out the viewfinder, and that's how you put your battery in. And here's what one of the batteries looks like. I do recommend you do exactly what I did and label it. Can you see that? Because you're going to get confused over the years of what this battery goes to. Label it and have a bunch of batteries. I recommend you have at least 4, probably 6, and have them with you. Now, it's fairly temperate out tonight. It's about 50 degrees. It's not that cold. But you go down to cold weather, that battery on the Aurora is going to die relatively quick. That's just how electronics work. Now, we'll see how it does here tonight. And I've been running it. Yesterday, I haven't recharged it. We'll just see how it does. You have a battery indicator in the viewfinder. How did I mount this to the gun? That is a Ferrotech mount. It's a CNC mount. It has a metallic clamp to it. And it's okay. It's not amazing. And it kind of goes on a little bit cocky wampus, to be honest. In fact, this camera, as you can see, well, I kind of straightened it out, but it was kind of tilted. And I can't really do much about it because underneath the camera you have like a little nib that this mount mounts into, so you can't rotate it left and right. It's not super cheap. I think around 75 bucks for Ferrotech, the CNC mount. Then it has a throw lever on it. Out of 5 stars, I'll give it 2.5. I think Ferrotech could have done a better job. I think it'd be more inexpensive. I think Sionyx makes a Picatinny mount for your Aurora. I haven't seen them for a while, and I think when I did my review last year, they were around, but they were a little bit heavier, maybe a lot heavier than this. Look around. There's ways to mount this. It's happenstance that I chose a HS503C Holosun for this. I wasn't planning on doing that. It was actually on a different gun. It had kind of like the open window Holosun. I forget the model number, but I'll roll in some screen imagery. And that was a nice setup. It gives a broader picture than this little circle dot does. But again, it was a suppressor issue. Since it's late where I'm at, I want to shoot canned up, especially a AR-15 pistol. I always shoot those canned. And that's why. So don't look at this and go, oh, this is, engineered. It really was slapped together, just like you would do it. Now, I've used this unit already. I'm pretty happy with it. I might just leave it as is. This is my unit right here because it's super compact, the whole thing. It's AR-15 power, not a PCC, and it's not bad. It really isn't bad. And I love the Delton Lima pistol. It's fantastic. I've told you guys that before. Go watch the review on that. Now, one thing you need to understand, I'm not going to go into all the technology and all the menu settings and all that other stupid crap. We don't need to do that here. What we're concentrating on only is its night vision capabilities and how does it do. I'm at just under 100 yards for the target we'll be shooting together tonight. What you need to know is this unit, when the battery's in, it's charged up, it's mounted properly, it will piggyback usually behind your optic, and a non-magnified variety works best that I found. I did experiment with some scope usage. Didn't work out too good. I put it in front of the scope, and although I could see the target, it was like magnifying the pixels of the camera. It was just too funky. You could put a piggyback 3-power optic in front of here on this rail, and that way you'd have 3 power. It would complicate the system, but it would work. I thought about doing that, and I probably should have, but I just had to get out here and get this done. Now, this system will work. You're going to see it works as is, but the field of view with the camera behind here isn't amazing. It just works. That's all I'm going to say. These are still my favorite red dot reflex sights in the world, the Holosun 503C. Amazing. Now, here's what you do need to know about this. Let me zoom in just a little bit. I guess it's a tailgate review. On the Psionics Auroras, not just this one, all of them, they have a scene selector. You can see I put orange paint on it. You want to go to night mode. So it rotates like this. That's day, that's twilight, and this is night. So you want it on night as you're using it. Then I just accidentally turned it on, and then I'm going to rotate it to the video position since we're going to be recording video on the 32 gigabyte SD card. That's its limitation. Okay, so that's cool. One thing I don't like about the Aurora that is not mil spec is this dial can rotate. You can bump it. If it's super important, I would probably tape it. Just some black electrical tape. If you don't like that LED on light, you could also cover that up in a tactical op if it was that serious. Now, you heard the boot up sound. I do like that. I leave it on. It's just a confirmatory way to know that the unit has come on. Notice how small it is. The weight, I think, is like 10.5 ounces, which is not outlandish when you talk about night vision stuff. Also, it's multi-purpose. This doesn't have to be a weapons camera. It can just be a handheld night vision viewing device. I talked about that in the Psionics Aurora review. That's what I used it for. It's versatile. You can use it for navigating waterways, looking at game, just security surveillance stuff. And so you can just unclip it from the gun and use it for a lot of different things. I know a lot of TMPers have bought the Sionyx units already, and they've been pretty happy with them. And this, again, this is the weapon rated black version, and I did promise I would get this and come in desert and testing it, and so I'm just fulfilling my promise right here. Now, I'd be careful in snow and frost. This getting all cluttered up, have some way you can cover it up. It doesn't come with any like objective cover on it, but you could probably fabricate something. This is a focus wheel back here. This up here we're going to be using a lot. This is our focus ring. So what it will do is change our focus through our sighting unit, which tonight is going to be the Holosun red dot. You will use that quite a bit. Now, also paired to the Delton Lima pistol, you'll see I have a flashlight extended well below the M-lock, mounted further aft than I wanted to. I actually wanted to mount it up here, but that gas block is in the way, so I couldn't really get that pick rail attached M-lock right. There's no clearance there with this close tolerance rail. I still like the rail, but having maybe a little more tolerance for that, I'm going to include that in my reviews, might help us have some more variety. This is a Nitecore C17 dual mode flashlight. I'll put a link below. I still think they're making them. I'm pretty happy with it, and I've used them not just for this test, but for some other night vision stuff that I've done. It's a multi-mode flashlight, so it has white mode, and we're going to check that out right now. This is your push button switch. Click this on. And then your mode switch is right here. Do you see this? So we'll just press this through the 5 modes. Low mode. I'm not going to go through the lumens and burn time since I don't want this to be an hour video. But that's what you need to know. So let's take a look at this super quick. I'm just going to rotate it. We're going to look out into the darkness and we'll see how this thing illuminates. It is more of an area light. It really reminds me of the Surefire Scout M640U. It has about the same type of throw to it. Maybe a little bit more. Look at that. That's way more than the Scout has actually. But the area lighting effect is the same. Can you see our steel target out there past the burnout side by side to the right? That's what we're shooting at. So can you see it right now? Yeah. And there's, I believe, turbo mode with the Nitecore C17. And then we're really low mode right here. Again, cycling through. It has memory function on it. IP68, 2-meter water resistance. Cree LEDs. And then the way we're going to get to night vision on this thing, not night vision, but IR mode, is, I'm going to just turn it off. This is the only tricky thing I don't like about this unit, is that we have to pull the head out. And I know a lot of people that need to do that too, pull their head out. And then when the head's pulled out, and sometimes you have to rotate it, it'll go into IR mode. And you know it's in IR mode when, well, the light doesn't come on. See how that's not on? And then also you'll see a red glow there in the viewfinder. Let me go to night mode and you'll be able to see it there. Now I read a report, some dude said, well, I don't like those red glowing LEDs because of a tactical situation. Someone might be able to see them. I'm like, dude, no one's going to see those. Come on, get real, dude. You can't see them with a naked eye, hardly. Now, as I show them into the camera, you can see them, right? That looks like the regular flashlight's on. That's all IR. Incidentally, that little mode switch I pressed earlier, you can select that to 3 different levels of IR. See that? The low setting is 1,000 milliwatts, medium 3,000 milliwatts, high 7,000 milliwatts, not 4, 7. And again, we're talking about its IR function, which you are observing via night mode in the camera. If I turn night mode off, it will be pitch black. Now, let's talk about this super quick. For hawk hunting, it's fine. Any type of pest control. If you go into a tactical arena where your foe might have envy also, it would be bad running this. I mean, you can see how bright it is. It's a beacon of saying, hey, here I am. The question you need to ask yourself is, would your dudes going up against you, your bad guy, are they going to have that capability? I would probably say usually not. Getting NV ready, nods ready, takes preparation, forethought. It's more complexity to a system. Most bad guys aren't going to even bother. Now, if you're running up some communist zombies, they might. So just decide, you know, is it wise to run an IR Illuminator? As you can see, it's going to be screaming pretty loud to anyone that's got a nod on. This Aurora Black, by the way, really needs it though. So this is not a pitch black night vision camera. It needs some type of light. Now that moon over there, we're going to see it here in a second, is peeking up over the ridge. That will help, but it really needs the help of an IR illuminator. And again, the Nitecore C7, I think it's cost effective. I do recommend it. I would buy it again. I have used some IR illuminators that have better throw. I was reading about the ATN IR 850. That seems pretty wicked. I'll put a link to that below. The AccuFire is kind of a generic brand. They have an IR 300. The price is right, and I bet you that works fairly well as well. So my point in showing you this is you need an IR illuminator with your Aurora. Don't just use it alone. Expect really good performance. That's pretty much it down and dirty on this unit. Again, I'm not going to go through all the other things it does. That was in the tabletop review. I'm pretty happy with this. Only thing I will say, you're going to see that as I shoot through the camera, because we're going to be recording with this unit, then I'll be filming with the Sony camera that you're looking through now, is the field of view is just a little bit diminished on it. So I'm going to set up. We're going to see how it performs real time here in the desert. Give me just a second. There's our moon. Not a full moon anymore. Giving us some ambient light. Let's see how the Psionics Aurora Black does without that ambient light here in just a second. I wanted to tell you something else about this unit, and I forgot it on tailgate. So the Ferrotech mount right here, dudes, has a finger that goes underneath the viewfinder. See this? Excuse me. Right here. That's locking the viewfinder in place so it doesn't fly off under recoil. The downside of that is you have to take the whole mount off. And I'm talking off the gun and off the camera, unscrewing it so you can get your viewfinder off to replace the battery. Wah, wah. That's not great. Now, I don't know if other mounts do this, but that was this version of the Ferrotech. I do like this mount because, as you can see, I labeled it. It's only 2 ounces. Make sure when you put it back on, you screw it tight to the camera. Then you flip your throw lever tight to your Picatinny rail, which I've done. And then when I do that, then I'm tightening it down again with your hex key. So you might want to keep your hex key with you. Maybe that'd be a good opportunity to use that hollow space in your Magpul grip. Yeah, so it is what it is. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, because in cold weather, you're going to be going through batteries. Are you going to be constantly taking your unit off, put a battery in? I don't know. But I wanted to share that with you. Okay, so we're going to turn it on again. Then I'm going to film through this unit right now. Hear that? That's telling me that I'm filming. I look. It's counting down. Yeah, that's filming. So I'll do a composite image thing between this camera and that camera. Hopefully it'll work out. If it doesn't, I'm still posting the video. If it doesn't work out. By the way, this unit is badass. This is a badass gun. Lima AR-15 pistol. I always shoot canned. I do have hearing protectors on. Deal with it if you don't like it, because this thing is still going to be, well, making some sound. I'm also shooting off the bog pod because I want to make this image as smooth as possible. Okay, so the first thing you're going to see is what it looks like with that ambient moonlight. You're going to see some flare from the hollow sun, and you're probably saying, this sucks. There's no way this unit is good. You might be saying that. Now let's turn on our Nitecore C7 or other illuminator. Now look. Oh, dude, that is legit. Oh my gosh. Firing. It's legit, boys. I didn't exaggerate. This thing works. If you can deal with the idiosyncrasies and get your system down, you're gonna love your Aurora Black from what I know now. Now you put it on a high recoiling gun like an AR-10 or something, it might be different, I don't know. But you guys have AR-15s, that's what you're gonna be running it on, most of them. Maybe some hog hunters out there. Look at that. Now you might be wondering, am I in night vision on the Holosun? The answer is no. I've just reduced the brightness of the dot as low as it will go. And I find that to be sufficient. You're seeing the image right there. It works great. Make sure that thing's still filming. It is. Okay, let me cycle through some different brightness levels on the IR Illuminator. That's low, which you could actually shoot with. I mean, let me make a hit here. That's at low. Yeah, it's working well. Here comes medium. I believe that's medium level right there. So I hope it translates in the camera, but what I'm seeing is really, for the cost, excellent. And I'm not exaggerating, it is excellent for the cost. Simple, easy to attach, albeit I discussed the idiosyncrasies of the battery. The Holosun is working great. I bet you guys will just replicate what I have here. You're gonna get a 503C, an Aurora Black, and then just run your 503 on it during day ops. And if you go, well, I need to go night ops, clip, put on your Aurora Black, you're in business. And the range I'm at is relatively long. I think most of your engagements with your zombies are gonna be inside of 25 yards. But here, I'm not at 100, just under 100. Out of ammo. Make sure it's still filming. It is. I love that it basically is a camera. It's a camera. It's not really a nod. The Aurora is a camera, and it can function as a nod, and that's what we're seeing right here. By the way, this is a Blue Force gear, and I reviewed this years ago. This is, I believe, the plate minus rack or something like it. It's like the elasticized plate carrier. It's actually not a plate carrier, it's just LBE. Yeah, dudes, this is awesome. And with this Nitecore, it's working great. And this is a range where I would anticipate using night vision. Whether I'm hog hunting, pest control, maybe bad guys, I don't think it's going to be further than this range. And this IR Illuminator works good. Those other ones I mentioned might have better throw. So you might investigate those, and they may be more culminated, like a more narrow beam. Really cool. Now I told you about that focus. Let me show you what the focus does. So I'm at the end of the Psionics Aurora Black, and I'm going to be turning the focus ring a little bit. Oh, actually I can't because I jammed it up against the unit so hard. Anyways, if you did, it would just take things out of focus, and it'd be pretty self-critiquing when you got it right or got it wrong. My setting that I have it here now is pretty good. You may notice that my reticle is a little bit blurred. And that's what I find with this setting, is that it's going to be, well, blurred. You can't focus everything, but I found the happy medium that is obviously working for my eyes. That is a mini IPSC plate there, by the way. I was shooting that plate yesterday with a 12 gauge shotgun, the 870 with slugs. And I missed a fair amount, and I was like, God, what's up? And I went down there, and one of the slugs had actually spun the target and faced it like 40 degrees. So it was narrower than it should have been. One more. Yeah, dudes, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with this unit. For the price, it's worth it. Again, this is not a mil-spec unit. This is not a unit that I would want to be participating in armored, warfare with, climbing in and out of a tank. It can't take that level of abuse. It is water resistant. I think it's like IPX67 or something. So the Psionics Aurora Black is water resistant. Has some shock resistance, obviously, because it's weapon rated. But let me turn this off, by the way. It's also not $5,000. So some guys get a little unrealistic in their expectations of gear. They go, well, it's $700 and I expect it to be waterproof, tank proof, mine proof. No. But for limited use, if you can take care of the unit, it's a recommend. Yeah, and so this is the piggyback review for my original Psionics Aurora tabletop. And as promised, I came out into the desert, tested this son of a gun for you, and dude, I'm digging it. It is legit, as you saw. I think that video will say it. It's in 720p. This is a unit that you can do some shooting with in pitch black dark, as long as you have an illuminator right here, like that. This video brought to you by donors of the Nut and Fancy Project. Thank you so much to them for providing me the fuel and food to come out to the desert for this week-long excursion that I'm doing, testing all types of weaponry items. You guys love that stuff. Yeah, and so I'm doing it. Thanks so much for your support. And if you're not a donor, consider being one. And if you say, no, I don't have money, thanks for clicking on the video and giving me a view. That's right, I really appreciate it. I need your support. Subscribe, hit that notification bell at the bare minimum. Really wicked setup. Nut and Fancy Night Vision Review.